World Championship week, how are we feeling?
I'm really excited. Obviously I love the major champs. I feel like I'm in really good shape, so yeah, it's crazy to think it's like 6 days away, so I'm just really excited.
Wow, in Dubai, the holding camp, tell me about this week and what it involves for you.
A major champs kind of lead-in is always pretty like similar to me. I have like a very strict 3-week block leading in, which I mean, I say somehow gets me in the best shape, but obviously there's planning that goes behind it with Scott. But for me, he just sends me the program, and it always shocks me as, oh, I just threw a PB, or oh, I just jumped PB. So there obviously is method behind his madness, and it does seem to work. So I have had a really good week's training here, and there's just something about a major champs holding camp where I can't even describe to someone how I do it, but just go into like this kind of bubble and this zone of like focus, and I'm just able to get more out of myself than I have done all year. And yeah, I've thrown a couple of PBs, lifted a couple of PBs, I've vaulted a PB, so yeah, I'm pretty happy.
Do you think sort of having that process down is because of the number of major champs you've done, or sort of evolving through that as a 4th Worlds?
Yeah, fourth Worlds, and 2nd Olympics, I've done European, so yeah, I mean it's the same preparation, the same training sessions I've done since 2015, and I've done 2016, 2017, 2018, so yeah, I know the sessions, I know they're coming, and they always seem to get me in the best place, and I really do feel like this year I'm in the best shape of my life, so it is really, really exciting, and hopefully I can deliver, on the day.
It's the same formula. What more are you looking to get out for yourself in Doha?
I think, I'm actually faster this year, I'm stronger, I'm technically a better vaulter than I've ever been before, and it's just exciting to know that I can probably jump somewhere between 80 and 90. I feel like my PB is 87, and if I hook up my jump on the, if the stars align, but if everything goes well, I think I'm quite capable of jumping, 87 plus. So I'd just like to hope that I could do that in the final, but I definitely feel like 85 is way within my capabilities, and for me the pole vault is pretty open this year, and that's good enough for a medal.
Yeah, you mentioned the field. You guys come together quite regularly, don't you, in the Diamond League, but how do you feel it's shaping up, and what's the field like for this year?
Yeah, I mean, the girls are definitely not afraid to compete against each other. Every single Diamond League this year, maybe sometimes even a non-Diamond League event, all the girls are there, and I think there's probably 6 or 7 girls that can jump 80 and battle for the medals. And actually this year it's pretty open, so I'm not going there thinking, oh, this person's going to win, hopefully I could sneak a bronze. Actually, all 3 medals are up for grabs, and it's just who keeps their nerve and can deliver the best performance on that day. And it's just putting yourself in the best place possible now, not getting sick, not getting injured, not being as fresh as you can to deliver that performance on the day. And I feel like so far it's going pretty well.
A varied season, jumping in a train station, in a crosswind in Birmingham. You kind of had it all happen, haven't you? Does that equip you for the World?
Yeah, I mean, the Worlds is different. There's not going to be any rain. It's going to be hopefully it's going to be pretty still, which actually makes it more like an indoor comp, which makes it pretty exciting. It means that the best girl on the day is going to win. I mean, in London in 2017, because the wind was so varied, it's not unfair, but it makes it challenging, because if you're, you could be in the best shape of your life, you could be the best girl in the world, but if you get 3 headwinds and can't deal with that, then you're out of the medals, and that's kind of what happened. But this one, it's going to be level playing field, everyone's going to be obviously in the same boat because there's no wind, and I mean, I think the train station meet is going to be the closest. It's going to be hot, it's going to be humid, no wind, it's going to be exciting.
In terms of the season as a whole, I suppose at the start of the season, it's a slightly rocky start. How do you contextualise it?
I actually had an issue out in Japan where the equipment wasn't faulty, but the equipment was very different. So I landed back on the track twice, which for me, I'm a very conservative vaulter in training. I never push the poles, I never do anything crazy. And for that to happen twice in one training session when it wasn't my fault, first of all, it flared up my Achilles, which took a while to settle down, but it also knocked my confidence. I think for the first time ever in my career, I've always prided myself on I stood on the run, didn't really care what could happen, I just went. Whereas actually these 2 crashes really shook me up, and it took me 6 weeks to find my jump again because I was so scared. That's why we made the decision to stay on the shorter run, shorter poles, because we just ran out of time really. But luckily I found it again, and yeah, it's the back end of the season has been so consistent. I think probably the most times I've ever jumped over 70 in a year. So it's definitely the back end of the season has been going good.
A lot of those have been home, haven't they, as well? I know it's difficult conditions in Birmingham, but you were going for that British outdoor record when you were at trials. So does that kind of home crowd experience did that help rebuild that confidence?
Yeah, I mean, I always seem to perform my best in front of a home crowd. I mean, indoors, I performed so well in front of Birmingham and then Glasgow, and yeah, London was the best Diamond League that I've done this year. And I don't know, it's something about having the British crowd and knowing that they're like cheering for me and they're behind me and on home soil. It just seems to lift my game a little bit. And yeah, I think I love the British crowd, which is why I'm glad it's the Birmingham kind of Diamond League is now going to be in Gateshead, which is going to be great.
And pulling on that GB vest once again, how is that still special to you?
It's always special. Being out there representing your country at the highest level in a World's Olympics or a Europeans is really, really special, and it never gets old, it never gets tiresome. And I did a comp simulation the other day where I wore my onesie and just putting it on. I kind of like got goosebumps a little bit, like, oh, it's this time of year again. I'm going to be going, you know, to a major champs wearing the GB kit. It's very cool.